Hello everyone. Once again, this is Katherine Johnson, and today I will be discussing the importance of why you should know your constitutional rights with those watching and to my lovely audience. So as Americans, we tend to put, majority of our focus and energy on things that we find most to our interests. Although these aren't bad things, there are other things that we should somewhat consider as a spark of interest, especially if it pertains to our well-being of being an American citizen. This interest is our constitutional rights. Most of us, whether we like to admit it or not, don't really know all of our constitutional rights and how they are actually supposed to work. It is crucial that if you don't know all of your rights, you should definitely research and study them. The U.S. consists of 2 owner manuals, and when I say owner manuals, I mean the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, which we are basically owners of that, considering you are American citizens. In order for you to receive full benefits, you must know and understand your rights. In school, we learned that the First Amendment is freedom of speech, and that's about it. According to the Bill of Rights, the First Amendment is Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or abiding the freedom of speech, or of the press, or right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. The lack of reading limits us from all benefits of our First Amendment. This is why reading is your first important step into knowing your constitutional rights. Now, for the reason I mentioned why knowing your constitutional rights should spark somewhat of an interest to you is because not knowing your constitutional rights can have harmful and even deadly consequences. According to Pete Stark, every American, regardless of their background, has the right to live free of unwarranted government intrusion. Repealing the worst provisions of the Patriot Act will rein in this gross abuse of power and restore to everyone our basic constitution rights. The problem is that a lot of Americans allow being abused and oppressed by a systematic bias of authority. We see this over time and time after time, the development of America that has mistreated their citizens. For centuries of being oppressed because of race, gender, religion, sexual orientation, age, and other differences as well, as many as you can name. According to the Holy Bible in Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6, my people are destroyed from a lack of knowledge. The problem is not oppressors' actions, but it's because Americans allow themselves to evidently be oppressed because they don't free themselves by knowledge. It is imperative that every single American knows and understands the constitutional rights. If not substantially, you become bliss and oppressed due to the lack of knowledge. It's imperative to read the Constitution and Bill of Rights and understand so you can be able to exercise your rights against tyranny and to maintain and preserve your rights in effect to get others to do the same. Frederick Douglass stated, "Once you learn, you will forever be free." This quote was excellent, especially during Mr. Douglass's time. A race was disenfranchised from rights in America. One way the oppressors would ensure dominance was to not allow African Americans to read. According to the Willie Lynch letter, The Making of a Slave, Lynch stated, "Teach a slave all about your language. He will know all your secrets and no longer be oppressed, because he can't be tricked." Lynch understood that if the oppressed knew the rights that they are being withheld from, then you can't control and abuse them. According to Willie Lynch's letter, The Making of a Slave, Willie said, "Being a fool is one of the basic ingredients of any incidents to the maintenance of the slavery system." This is years ago, but the same principle still holds up today. Americans allow others to determine their amount of knowledge, which knowledge is unlimited. You never not learn enough. We tend to allow others to explain our rights without even trying to learn it for ourselves. Angela Davis, who is a civil rights activist, went to court versus government for being labeled as a terrorist. She represented herself and she knew law very well, so she ended up actually winning her own case. And this is all because she knew her rights as a citizen. She could have been facing life, but luckily she knew her rights. So today I just want to sum up, we talked about knowing your rights and how every American should, but it's very important because it can benefit you and even save your life. Because like Angela, she was facing life. Are there any questions?
Where's a good place to learn more constitutional rights?
Well, you can go to the library, the internet, there are history classes as well, and also criminal justice classes, courses you can take. Any more questions?
Where can I go to have someone help me understand my rights?
Well, as of right now at FMU, we currently have lawyers. Dr. Jonathan Edwards is actually one, and you have cops, legal officials. Any more questions?
What systematic bias are there?
Well, we have a lot of that. We have racism, sexism, the list goes on and on. Any more questions?
How can I be a part of an organization to help stop oppression?
Well, one important thing is you should definitely go online and look up all the support systems and stuff that we have set up for people to help them. Minorities. Are there any more questions?
Are the amendments read strictly or loosely?
Well, as far as them being read strictly or loosely, they can be both, Just as long as you're able to learn, obtain that knowledge, it doesn't really matter. Thank you, and that is my persuasive speech.
Nice.